Om Namah Shivaya friends, welcome to Dots of Destiny. Today's video is about the transit of Jupiter in Punarvasu Nakshatra, its own nakshatra from 15th of August to 15th or 16th of June next year 2026. In midst of this, Jupiter will also get retrograde in this nakshatra. Now this nakshatra has three padas in Gemini, and it is an airy, mainly it is all about movement, Punarvasu Nakshatra, and the last pada is in Cancer. Most of the all the Jupiterian nakshatras has the last pada in the watery sign and three in the airy sign. But Punarvasu is a more very renewal and regenerative nakshatra. Vishakha and Purvabhadrapada is quite difficult in its working, which I have seen. Vishakha, yes, it is in Libra and in Scorpio, the last pada, but it is not an easy nakshatra to deal with. The Vishakha people are target oriented, but sometimes they feel that let me leave everything and go to the, go for a seclusion. It is not a very easy nakshatra to work with. Neither Purva Bhadrapada, as we are seeing. Rahu is already there, Saturn was there last year. So it's not an easy nakshatra. So Jupiterian nakshatra, these three padas in the airy sign and the last, the realization in the watery sign is that is how the traits of the nakshatras are. Punarvasu is the first nakshatra from 1 to Aslesha, 1 to 9. This is first nakshatra which I find that it has a maturity of its own. Because Punarvasu is not the self that is, conveyed through this nakshatra. It is more about the people at large, especially because nakshatra Ardra, which comes just before Punarvasu, has all the traits of Rahu, though scientifically it can be really advanced breakthrough theories and all this. But Ardra is so much up and down and tumultuous and so difficult to deal with. A person dealing with that kind of energy becomes quite self-centered in their attitude. Now, whether it is wrong or right, that's a different thing. But that is how the nakshatra works through if a person has Lagna, Moon and Adra. Punarvasu is a very Deva type nakshatra, which now the person, the sequence of the nakshatra from Ardra to Punarvasu, the energy is such, it is more about the welfare of community at large. And we all know this nakshatra was the, rising nakshatra for Lord Ram. The three padas in Gemini I find is mainly about movement and learning, because Gemini is a very fast learning sign, and it is short learnings that this nakshatra represents in Gemini. And this learning is not mostly it is not bookish learning. It is about going to different places and in the process you learn. Now, places need not be always going out in the foreign countries and learning everything. You can be going from your house to places near to it also, but the learning starts in those areas. The learning does not come exactly from the text oriented bookish learning. That is how the first three padas of Punarvasu act. Last pada is in Cancer. Here the nourishment, after going through this process of traveling, learning, understanding from the outside world, because see, Gemini is ruled by Mercury. Mercury is a child, it learns, and then when this Jupiterian nakshatra's last pada in Cancer, it is about nurturing the society at large in whichever form it is. Now, nurturing can go into professions like hospitality, import export, astrologers, even doctors also in different Ayurvedic, medicinal, different things, that also. Punarvasu has a wide range of its way of functioning, and Jupiter is truly the lord of this nakshatra. That this nakshatra is very calm in its approach. Hardly you will find a Punarvasu if a person has prominent Lagna moon in Punarvasu. The Gemini part of it can be a bit unsettling. It wants to go out and learn and express itself. But the Cancer part of just one pada, the Cancer part of Punarvasu, which is also a Vargottam pada, that is a very, it is really very benign, very giving, abundance, because Aditi is the deity of this nakshatra. Now Aditi, we always link Aditi to the generation of this creation, and it says in the Puranic stories that the world starts from here and all this. So Aditi is about abundance, giving to the world, starting something new. So this, once you have, because now Jupiter is coming into Punarvasu, and it's not a short time Jupiter will be in Punarvasu, because till June, mid of June, 16th or 17th of June 2026, that means it is nearly 11 months Jupiter will be here. So there will be lot of renewal, lot of healing, lot of regenerative techniques that is happening in your horoscope at different levels with this nakshatra. So that will definitely happen. Now the renewal, regeneration is not like see, when Jupiter was in Adra till now, the 2 months of Jupiter transit in Adra, the things were a little haywire, and it is not exactly the nakshatra where Jupiter wants to be. You were trying to go through the process. Now you will be able to process it better, and maybe your thinking pattern will change, and you will renew your thinking pattern and make the things work in that area. Wherever your Punarvasu is, that is wherever your Gemini and Cancer, these two zodiac, wherever it falls in your horoscope, a new way of doing things will start from there. Now, the new way of doing things will not be only concentrated at one point of time. Suppose 15th August you start a new beginning in that area, Gemini, Cancer, wherever it is falling in your horoscope according to your Lagna. But again and again you will be renewing the thing. You will be, because Jupiter will go retrograde also. It will dip into Cancer, 0 degrees some minutes in this year, October end, and it will become retrograde by 4th of November and till 4th of February, if I am correct about the dates, whatever. This span of Jupiter going retrograde in this nakshatra only will again make some new rectifications and beginning in the process. So the beginning is not a one-time process. That is what I am trying to say. It is like you are starting something this August, definitely in the area where Punarvasu is. When a Jupiterian energy enters that sphere, you will start something, whether by the assistance of somebody else, by yourself, that I will discuss with each ascendants, but definitely beginnings will be there. The new way of looking through the different lens of your eyes. Because this nakshatra is a matured nakshatra, what happens is that it seldom runs and rushes into things. Sometimes Punarvasu people can be very content if you have a Punarvasu rising moon or sometimes I've seen they are more content than required, and their little bit laid back attitude comes from that. But then nonetheless it is like they don't want a war to happen. Any kind of war, whether it's a big war, or a small or whatever it is, in your own mundane personal level, like Lord Ram didn't want to go for the war. with Ravan. He said that his wife should be returned. He will not go for the war. So that kind of patience is sometimes seen with this nakshatra, where truce is more important than war, and the war that ultimately, if it has to happen, also happens because it is necessary. There is no other way. So that is why it is not a vengeance full of war. It is a necessity in this process. So that's why the more I say, the less about it. This nakshatra works at different levels. Now a small change can be a new generation. Your soul level new regeneration, renewal can also happen with this process, definitely. Last time, if I'm not very wrong, because this goes with my life also, Rahu had crossed Punarvasu nakshatra in 2019, from January to 2019 January to 2019 October. So at that time, did you feel something you had to quit and something you had to go through the process of renewal, starting again, good again, and from hopelessness to hopeful? Just see if you could remember anything in 2019, because Rahu had a very prominent transit in Gemini at that point of time. And yeah, Rahu is Vakri, it goes from the highest degree to lower. That's a different thing. But here Jupiter will also make, because as I'm telling, it's 11 months transit, very long transit. But I feel this transit will be really some boost to that area, to the horoscope, where we are living, in a era where Saturn is in Pisces, and not the conditions are not very uplifting. So this kind of transit of Jupiter in such a beautiful nakshatra can give us some push and some beginnings, renewals, recycling and regenerating and rejuvenation to our life in that area. So let's see what the different ascendants have to go through this this transit. For the Aries ascendant, the transit of Jupiter in Punarvasu is in your 3rd and 4th house. Though the 4th house dip of Jupiter is very less this year, so mainly the transit of Jupiter will be concentrated with the 3 padas of Gemini, Punarvasu. Now 3rd house is definitely a very active house, and over here you definitely will go through a new beginning, whatever may be your dasha at this point of time. Because coming across many Aries people, because the 10th and 11th Lord is not in a good shape in the 12th house, Saturn in Pisces, and because Mars is now coming into Virgo, you will have to start something, and already maybe you have that in your mind. You are just not in the process of executing the thing. The execution or the beginning, the renewal of some old friendships or old community or old, again going for some journeys, whether short distance journey, whether in your neighborhood also, whichever thing maybe you are planning a short course for that, you go out and find something and you start that. Or some associates which had been your previous knowing will come to your help at this point of time. You may contact them. Some communication which is very balanced in its own way will happen at this point of time. 3rd house Jupiter in Punarvasu will make you start something, as the vibration of this Jupiter transit in Punarvasu will be very high. The chaotic situation that Jupiter had been encountering in Ardra will stop, and now you will be able to first you will be able to understand how to go with the thing, whether it's a short distance travel which requires some initiation of short courses that you need. Something to do with your sibling can also happen. If you are not in good terms or you need to again renew something, that can also very well happen. Some intellectual talk can also very well happen. A project, if at all you're doing a project totally regarding your professional thing, you may go through a new startup. Again, a renewed effort is definitely seen, as Jupiter, your fortune lord, comes into the third house. Now, the thing is that here Jupiter in the third house, then it comes a little bit, it dips into your fourth house, again goes back. So one thing that needs to be understood about this transit is that the beginning is just not at one level, it is at many levels. Suppose you begin something in the by this month of August, don't think it is a final culmination of it, because as Jupiter gets retrograde also this year from 4th of November to next year 4th of February, you will go through again some renewals and recycling and again thinking and again starting. Because you know, when we start one time, we always tend to miss things in the process. Now, third house is definitely your efforts also. Maybe your efforts is related to journey making. Through journeys you learn something. You go to certain places due to your work and you learn through this process. Again, you have to visit those areas. It is many small beginnings, not just one beginning that is happening with Punarvasu. But the goodness of this nakshatra is that it will not make you feel turbulent like Ardra. It will give you the the push, the things will start happening at smaller to slowly scaling up at a better level. Obviously, because Jupiter is in Punarvasu, then it will be having some impact on both of its houses also, the 9th house and the 12th house. Obviously, the 9th house is about long distance journey. So as I said, Punarvasu is a very movement oriented nakshatra. Here, if you need to make a journey, please do it. You will learn a lot in the journey. If you need to enroll for some higher studies, please do it. You will also learn from there. It will be of really use. Maybe you had put it at a back burner, or maybe a course which is not even a very high, maybe a 1-year course. You will learn a lot. Skills and renewal of your skills can also very happen. And because see, Jupiter is ultimately the teacher, right? Mercury teaches skills, Jupiter gives knowledge also with that. So go with the flow. 12th house is at foreign countries also. Maybe your health regime requires some new regeneration. Mars has not been in a good shape for a very long time. So you go through the process. Maybe you need a loan for starting something new. Many people are going for startups that I'm seeing recently, and Aries people are known for that. They are like, they need to start something. Here is the opportunity. Start, go slow. Again and again there will be processes which you have to repeat. That is how it will come to its full fructification. It will not happen in one go. Nonetheless, it's a very good transit. Taurus, this transit of Jupiter and Punarvasu happens in your 2nd house, and Jupiter by end of October will dip into your 3rd house, have a sneak peek and come back. So mainly now this year, at least in 2025, the transit will be concentrated to your 2nd house area. Now 2nd house is money, family mainly. Also working on something with a kind of a attitude which requires some sadhana. So Jupiter can put you into there and you can start something new which you had been putting away for a long time. Maybe that idea came to you when Jupiter was in Rahu's nakshatra in Ardra, because Ardra has that kind of research oriented, idea oriented approach. And now as you were fidgeting with the thing, now you have a new beginning. Maybe for the new beginning you have to go outside your family. Maybe the new beginning is just an earning that you're starting. It is just at the starting level. Some new studies, because second house is also studying, you can happen, and you can prepare yourself for some better courses, examinations, competitions, etc. That can also start. You can start putting the effort renewed way, in a new way, not the way you had been following till now. Now understand one fact, this transit of Jupiter and Punarvasu will not make just one beginning. It will make at its own level multiple beginnings, one after the other. As you start growing, the beginnings regarding your decisions will be more refined. Now whether it's a money matter and you are thinking to invest money, you are thinking different policies for making money, all these will turn up into different small events, not just one go. Trying again, because in this transit Jupiter is also going retrograde. So in retrogression also, because Saturn is also retrograde now, so you will contemplate, you will come back, you will think, and you will start again. But definitely it is a very good transit, and your 8th house, you will go through some change. It is the 8th lord Jupiter and the 11th lord, so some changes, some newness in your 11th house and 8th house. The 8th house will see definitely some transformation, because after all it is the 8th lord, and it is starting a new journey or new beginning in your 2nd house. So some change in the home front can very well happen at this point of time. You go through a short transformation, or a rather 1-year transformation also you can take in the home front. Maybe you're leaving home for good, maybe you're leaving your or getting new circle of friends, leaving because it is the 11th lord also, or the gains are coming from some other sector which you are planning, not just your job, some other source of income, a new beginning in that also can happen. The scope is not limited. That is the thing. Punarvasu will open a wide scope in your understanding of the 2nd house, the 8th house and the 11th house area. And this can mostly will be regarding your finances, your different job sectors can happen, your getting away from your home area can happen, a new beginning in different way, because ultimately Jupiter has to come into the 3rd house, and a change of place or change of destination, a new way of starting your life can well happen. So it is a good transit for most of the ascendants. For you also it is a good transit, Taurus. Go with the transit. Many new startups are on the way in this 11 months of Jupiter transiting Punarvasu. Gemini ascendant, it is a new you that will happen as Jupiter will run into Punarvasu nakshatra for the next 11 months. Definitely new beginnings in your personality, your way of thinking, your understanding of life, obviously your 10th lord, that is also very important. And here Saturn is there, you will change things. Now you will start this at a level which can be just the beginning, or it can be you are again starting in a new way, in a new sector, in a different area. It will give you the push. Now the starting of this transit of Jupiter and Punarvasu will happen at different levels. It is not just one beginning that is going to happen. The renewal or the process of this regeneration of you and your 10th lord being Jupiter will very well happen at different levels. You will see, suppose as simple, if you take a new job and shift, first step is that. Second step, you may have to learn something, upgrade yourself, again a new beginning, again renewing the skills. So like that, in this 11 months there will be many things happening in your life, and believe me, these things will give you a very the personality will grow with that. That is very important, because Jupiter is your 7th lord and your 10th lord also. So these areas are also getting impacted by Jupiter's transit in its own nakshatra. Your partner can also go well with you and go through a process. Both of you can go through a process of newness and regeneration. Maybe the old is shifting and some new things are coming in the place. So, or you may be shifting a place, you may be taking a course, you may be putting a break, because Saturn now wants, because 10th house Saturn, it will make you go through certain things which are not sometimes very pleasant. You take a break of 6 months, go through a course. Gemini is known for taking short courses, and it's a new you which comes back. So these things are very prominent in Punarvasu. Or you may travel also this 1 year, and you may travel so much that you learn a lot from each travel due to your work or anything. And that is why this nakshatra is a very, whatever you had been going through a tumultuous process of Jupiter and Adra, now will come slowly to a phase where your ideas will be solidified and you will be able to go through the beginning. It is like a sunny morning after the tumultuous rain and destruction in Ardra. It's a very good nakshatra, but from the obviously the beginnings will be at different stage. That is very important, because Jupiter will also go retrograde in this nakshatra from 4th of November to 4th of February. So you can understand it is not just one jump, it is slowly going through the process and renewing the whole thing. But it's a nakshatra of abundance, and it's a Deva nakshatra. So definitely whatever you're going through, ultimately it will come into your 2nd house. When Jupiter comes in Cancer, it will give a growth to your family, your money, your whatever, goodness of the 2nd house. But this is a very good transit. You yourself, Mercury is retrograde now, Saturn is retrograde in the 10th house now. So the regeneration process starts with you looking back, what needs to be left out, and with what you can go ahead now, prepare for the next 11 months of this transit. It's a very good transit. Cancer ascendants, the transit of Jupiter in Punarvasu nakshatra in your 12th house, and the last pada is on your lagna. Though this year Jupiter will come, just it will take a dip on your lagna and not even crossing 1 degree. But this whole 11 months of transit of Jupiter in Punarvasu will make some new beginnings definitely in your 12th house area and your 9th and 6th house. Now see, these new beginnings are very much in your case related to travel. First and foremost, why? Because the 12th house is foreign lands, and also if you are looking for that, you may be starting the process. And 9th house is also your fortune and traveling to distant places for education. 6th house is definitely your daily regime and routine and your daily wages and work. So all these things will go for a renewal definitely. But one thing needs to be understood, Punarvasu nakshatra, the renewal is not just a one step go. It is many renewals in the process. It is a process that will start from this 15th of August that will end only next year June mid, I think 18th or 17th of June. So this is not a one day process, it's a long process that Jupiter will cover in this nakshatra. This year it is mainly the Gemini, and this nakshatra main 3 padas are in Gemini. The last pada is Virgottam and in Cancer, the last one pada. Now these 3 padas of Gemini are mainly Gemini is a skill-based sign which requires new startups. Now this renewal can happen in your health area also, as Jupiter takes a dip in the month of end of October in your Lagna, and then again goes back for some kind of rectification in the 12th house. It can be your expenses, you are thinking and you are understanding what process to undertake now, not to go into too much of indulgence, and renewing your sense of understanding. Your health definitely can take a good turn over here, because you go through a process of regenerating yourself, and you take different skills for that also, whether it's yoga, whether it's any other lifestyle that you have to focus on, you will be able to do that. Here the 9th lord is in the 12th house. Obviously it is more concentrated with the foreign things. Bhagya, the fortune lord going into the 12th house, one problem is that you have to understand how much the fortune is favoring you. In general, it is not a very easy transit of the fortune lord going to the 12th house 12th house. But yes, foreign matters may give you a boost over here. That can definitely happen. The 6th house matters. The regular routines will go through some changes and new startups and new beginnings. So overall, we have to take it in, though it's a 12th house transit, but some new realization, new understanding, and that is why a new process starts from this transit of Jupiter into Punarvasu. Definitely travels can very well happen, and it happens, let me tell you, it will give you lot of knowledge and understanding and how to inculcate that in your daily life. If you really want to understand, you must travel, because Punarvasu is a very movement oriented nakshatra. The more you travel, the more knowledge you get, the more understanding, whatever lifestyle you had been, because see, now next year Jupiter will come on your Lagna. It will give you the blessings, the understanding. And blessing does not, now the guru's blessing is not about just the monetary factor. Many people take it in this kind of a way. It can also be your understanding how to make the best use of your life. The guru actually gives us freedom from the darkness to the light. So Punarvasu will also understand that this regeneration of the self from the darkness to the light will start with this process. It's a very important transit in your 12th house. Realization and then starting new. In the core realization, in the 3D mundane world, you can go for travel, you can go to the hospital, you can save your expenses, will make you understand. But then after that, hospitalization and then coming a new you. And then understanding which life path to follow, or which life, how to build up your life in a better way, so that you are not troubled by those things again. So, and travel is definitely a part of this transit of Punarvasu, 11 months. But understand that Jupiter will definitely, 12th house Jupiter, it is, the original Pisces house. It will give you some understanding, realization that will come. You may do some philanthropy, you may go for journeys, long distance journeys are favored. All these things will happen, but main thing is understanding of the self and how to come out of the shell that you had been leading a life till now. It's a very life-changing transit, Cancer people, very life-changing. So for me, I feel it is a good transit, realization and giving up unnecessary things and renewing ourselves from the core. Leo ascendants. Leo, this transit is happening mainly in your 11th house. Jupiter takes a dip in Punarvasu 4th pada in the end of October. Again it comes back retrograde from 4th of November to your 11th house. So mainly as of now it is the 11th house transit. Your desires will become more refined. You will be able to renew your desires in a more refined way, renew your friendships in a more defined way, your circles. This is a very important transit for all the ascendants. For you, it is how to renew. See, renewal always does not mean including people. Renewal also means excluding things which is unnecessary, so that you get renewed in the process. Saturn in the 8th will make you do that. Unnecessary things, people, those who are pulling you down, go away with them. 11th house, your networking area, your gains, your new way of thinking, how the gains will happen. All these are part of this very important and nice transit. And Jupiter goes retrograde. Now the whatever reset is happening, it is not happening in one go. That is very important for Punarvasu. It is many new renewals. Renewals at different stages for the next 11 months. So after this Jupiter transit ends in Punarvasu, it's a new you, understanding so much about the 11th house matters, about the 5th house matters, and about the 8th house matters, because 5th and 8th Lord is also going through this process, making you think again about the 5th and 8th house matters. It's a new process that you will be going through, and it is very important, absolutely important. And it is not exactly about how much money you are getting, what is your gains, your desire fulfillment. That can well happen in the process. Regeneration after the tumultuous Ardra is very much characteristics. Traveling is very much characteristics. Long distance travel, short distance travel, all these things can happen. 8th house, sudden travels, sudden changes you implement, and it suddenly you get a new feeling out of that. It's a very benign nakshatra, you know, thinking for community at large. You will have a bigger scale of understanding or handling your community, your networking people. Very important transit, very good transit. Just it will happen at different stages. It is not a one go beginning. It is beginning at different stages in the next 11 months. So that is very important in understanding. Every 2 months you will have a change and beginning and understanding and modifying yourself in that way, because your truth is more important. Your Jupiter is not fighting. It's a very nice nakshatra of, you know, inclusiveness. Even the lower caste, the outer caste are also included by Lord Ram in this nakshatra. Movement is very important. Through travel you will learn a lot. Whenever you travel in this 11 months phase, you will come up with lot of learnings which will give a new you. So very good this thing. And obviously when Jupiter is in this nakshatra, one desire fulfillment at least will happen in this 11 months of time, which you had been thinking, which desire which you had been thinking for very long. One desire fulfillment is definitely coming up for you for the next 10-11 months. Take care, Leo people. Virgo, this is the transit of Jupiter in Punarvasu is mainly in your 10th house, and then it will take a dip into your 11th house in the end of October, come back again retrograde in the 10th house. So mainly it is now a 10th house transit. Next year it will be in Cancer again. So this transit pans out from 15th August to next year June mid 2026. So you can understand it's a well 10 months of transit that is happening. It's a very big transit, and there will be new things happening in your professional front. Already see, Jupiter's presence in the 10th house will give you new sources, new understanding, new you, if you, especially if you are a teacher, counselor, HR and banking, these things are very much you know, you will think in a better scale, bigger scale. Your efforts will be renewed and in a very nice way. It is about getting the knowledge. You may have to travel for work, and through the travel you get the knowledge and you implement it. So the regeneration quality of this nakshatra is not just one time. It happens at different levels and it takes time. Maybe in this 10 months there will be 2-3 times of new beginnings that is happening with you, or new way of understanding things that is happening with you. Such is the quality of Punarvasu Nakshatra. It will teach you how to make truce with situation, how to make it to a calm end. Punarvasu does not promote war until and unless it's an absolute necessary. It is the story of Lord Rama that we get through Punarvasu, who also wanted to avoid war, but then it became necessary at the end point. So it is a nakshatra of abundance, some kind of abundance in the 10th house area, and later in your 11th house area can well happen. And that abundance will not always be related to money. See, this is more of an abundance at a soul level. You now feel very nice about the things. The way you are professionally handling the things, that will give you a very nice boost at the soul level. Now, if that brings money, that's a different scenario. Obviously, if you do professional good, that can add up to something. Your karma will automatically be very in a renewed way, in a new way, and not like just in a self-centered manner. You will do for a people at large, not just me and my agenda. So it's a very good and very important transit that is happening in the cusp of your 10th and 11th house, and both the houses are very important. But obviously it doesn't give everything in one go. It is a slow process of regeneration, and you will be able to feel it after, like especially after Jupiter goes retrograde, and next year it will be even more felt. But the beginning starts from here. The Jupiter has left the tumultuous Ardra. It is not going back to that. Now it is in its own nakshatra to give better results. But obviously for you it is the fourth lord. It is the fourth lord and it is the seventh lord. These two places will also have some newness to offer. Maybe marriage for that can very well happen, and a new way of approaching your professional life. Maybe your fourth house, some changes can happen, some renewed things can happen, changing a residence, making a different area, making it better in your own sense, the fourth house. So whatever it is, these three things will be very much in focus, and especially whether you're running a dasha, antardasha or not, Jupiter is a very big planet. It will give it results. If especially you're running a dasha or any planet you have in this nakshatra, obviously the result will be even more profound, but nonetheless it's a very good transit. Libra ascendants, the transit of Jupiter in Punarvasu is in the 9th house in Gemini, and then it will take a dip into your 10th house in the end of October, and again be retrograde from 4th November, coming back to the 9th house again. So mainly in 2025 you will have this effect regarding your 9th house. 9th house is your relationship with the father, your boss, your ambition, your understanding of higher learning, the path you follow. That is very important. What kind of dharma you are taking. Jupiter will renew your process through this house. You will be thinking now that what is the step and how is the approach needs to be taken before Jupiter goes into the 10th house. Because this Jupiterian signs like Sagittarius and Pisces, which is your 3rd and the 6th house, especially the 6th house is having Saturn. Many Librans are going through the process of a problematic 6th house matter. Some have moved forward into different jobs, but still it is not very easy. Now your understanding, your learning, all these things, a new beginning will Jupiter bring in these areas. Now yes, Libra, one thing about the Jupiter transit is that if you take the the process of the Guru, Devaguru Brihaspati, because you are ruled by Venus, which is a very diplomatic Guru. Both the Gurus have their own say. But as of now, if you follow the path of Jupiter and then you take up the renewal that is enforced in your horoscope at this moment of time through the 9th house, through the understanding, thinking, higher knowledge, going to foreign countries, doing new courses, your father's finding some solution with your boss, your father, anything, all these processes will go through a renewal and new beginnings will happen. And obviously the 10th house matters, because whenever a planet I've seen, they are transiting the 9th house, they are gearing up to go to the 10th house, and here Jupiter will be in its exaltation. This year only 1 month, but it is like just 0 degrees. Jupiter will be in the last pada of Cancer. Next year it will travel or transit more in your 10th house the whole year. Now that's why whatever decisions you are taking at this point of time, through your skills, it can be just upgrading your skills. The 3rd house is Jupiter. You start a new skill, you start new journeys, you will get the ideas. Those ideas you will be able to put in your work area. If you are a student going for competitive exams, your way of studying, your way of understanding will go through a new process. You may get a new teacher that can help you in this matters, because Saturn in the 6th house sometimes in competitive matters can make things difficult, and it's a slow planet obviously. So all these things will be enforced now in a very benign way. Punarvasu will give you the ideas and you will go through it in step-by-step process. This is not a one go of new beginnings. It is new beginnings at different stages in the next 10 months, and which will land you to Jupiter in the 10th, 11th house later. The transits are very important. However, there is a difference in opinion between Venus and Jupiter. Yes, I do agree. It happens. It very much. The conjunction of Venus, Jupiter in the chart is also, that's why not very easy. There is conflicting ideas. But at this moment of time, look at the bigger picture. Jupiter is aspecting your Lagna. You can feel some relief. You are getting some foreign connections. You start a new beginning. What kind of connections? Think and go slowly with the process. It's not a very fast forward process. And here there is no war with the dharma or anything. Here because Punarvasu does not believe in war. It believes in truce. So that's why it is a patch up. Maybe patch up with the boss, maybe patch up with foreign clients, maybe your father's health. It's getting renewed. There are so many things that can happen at this moment of time. And as slowly as Jupiter, then it will retrograde also from 4th of November to 4th of February. Again you rethink the process. That's why I'm saying it's not a one go process. It is again and again thinking and implementing. 6th house Saturn is a bothersome place. Yes, it does not give result very easily. And it is sitting in Jupiterian sign. That is why this transit of Jupiter will give you ideas, new ways of thinking, new skills, new learnings. Maybe through travel, maybe through new courses, maybe through going through short courses. It will give you all these ideas and you will have different new beginnings at different stages continuously from this 15th August to next year June, mid of June. So it's a good transit. The transit has no problem. The implementation is you have to do it. Being a Libran, Jupiter is not a very, you can understand it's the 3rd lord and the 6th lord, but understanding Jupiter's learnings are all for the higher good. Take up the learning and make a new beginning in every stage in your life and make the most of this transit of Jupiter in Punarvasu. Best of luck. Scorpio ascendants, this transit of Jupiter in the 8th house is happening for you in Punarvasu Nakshatra. Here totally this is going with regeneration. 8th house is dying and regeneration, rejuvenation, new learning, new understanding of life, whether with your whether with your investments, whether with your legacy, whether with your in-laws, whether understanding life in general. All these will come from this and travel will be there. Sudden travels. 8th house Jupiter and Punarvasu will definitely give you sudden travels in this next 10 months, and in the travel there will be really new beginnings and new learnings. Those new learnings will give you new beginning. This is a very important transit of Jupiter for you, because Jupiter is now gearing up to go to your 9th house. It is changing you in some way internally. The process is going on internally. Then Jupiter dips into the 9th house, again comes back. And it's short transit this year of Jupiter. In the last pada of Punarvasu, it will dip into Cancer, then come back again into Gemini. Minimum there will be 3 journeys in this 10 months of Jupiter transit in Punarvasu in the 8th house, and all the journeys will give you very solid knowledge, and those knowledge will lead into your it will add to your identity and will add to your new beginnings. That will happen because then you are gearing up for the 5th lord transit in the 9th house next year, which is a beautiful transit. So given that Ketu is in the 10th house, you have to understand how to handle that. Given that Rahu is in the 4th house, and all these new beginnings are in your finance area, 2nd house, Sagittarius, finance area, your family area, your speech area, your in-laws area, the investments you make, the unearned money that you get, and your 5th lord is also, that is maybe your progeny, your love, your investments in the market, all will go through new beginnings. You will have a better understanding. It is a financial philosophically changing transit in your life, very much. See, 8th house Jupiter, people can say anything, but I have seen it turns the table suddenly. Yes, it gives a sudden moments of desperation. It gives some awkward sudden moments, because that is how the 8th house works. But still, Jupiter as a planet in the transit, especially, it gives once, because it is now heading towards the 9th house, it will make you leave things, and it's a new regeneration that will happen. You will leave certain things in the 8th house area, and then only you can go to the 9th house, which is a beautiful transit of Jupiter in the 9th house. It's from my end, it's a very good transit. I cannot say bad, because see, 8th house, I have planets in 8th house. That's why I took this profession also. But 8th house makes you leave the unnecessary. Yes, I am not telling there is no pain in it. Pain is there, but then without pain there is no gain. You become a better person, a more relieved person, a renewed person, and you regenerate yourself. So this is the process you'll be going through in the next 10 months. It's a beautiful transit. Sagittarius, it is the 9th house that Jupiter is transiting in Punarvasu, in the 3 padas of Gemini, and then 1 pada of Cancer in your 8th house. Now, see, it is your Lagna Lord. Obviously, you will go through many new beginnings in the next 10 months, and most beginnings will be good. And there is, I don't think, unless you are running a very bad dasha, still also you will survive, because Jupiter is the healing touch to the Lagna. Believe me, I have seen it so many times. If it's a transit of the 5th house Jupiter, 7th house Jupiter, 9th house Jupiter, when Jupiter is aspecting the Lagna, it's a really healing touch for any Lagna, and especially it is your Lagna Lord. So it is a new you, that is the thing. Maybe it is because 7th house, I also see travel and partnership, and all these things can be instrumental. But after all, who is going through regeneration? It can be a relationship which is renewed. It can be through travel you are getting renewed, but it is, after all, it is you and your 4th house area, your heart. your soul, your understanding, you are uplifted. In the next 10 months, it is a new you. That is most important. And the fourth house, however, Saturn is sitting and testing you. If you're Sagittarius moon, it is obviously Dhaya. But still, you will have a renewed force. Jupiter will give you that boost. It will change, some things will change inside you. You will see that this regenerative process had made you think in so many new ways, that new ideas are coming and you're putting them into action, and this is happening. It's a very growth oriented process. See, whenever I see Jupiter, people all see Jupiter, we always associate it with the monetary, bank, good factors, true, but after all it is the knowledge, and once that knowledge comes, these things come into your life. The money comes, the sanity comes, the peace comes, good people come, because you will now cut out the people, those are unnecessary. You need not do that. So you will get the best of this transit, and you will be it's not just a one beginning that happens with this kind of a transit for 10 months. It is beginning at different stages, because it's a continuous renewal process. It's a very good transit. That is the least I can say. 7th Jupiter aspecting its own lagna, it will give you the gusto, the things to manage so many things, an extra source of income, maybe a renewed source of understanding about yourself and implementing those things, and not only talking the path but also walking the path. This is the time. It's a beautiful transit, Sagittarius. I'll not elaborate too much. Let the transit pan out. You'll be able to see. In midst, Jupiter will go retrograde. Obviously, certain steps you will take and you will only rectify. Maybe you can take the help of your partner. It is a well good transit for your partner also. The bond, the business, any other thing. If you're in a partnership kind of a situation, that also. If you're ready for marriage, even that also. Again, that can also bring a new you for change, because marriage does changes a lot of things. So that is the process in the next 10 months. Take good care. Of Jupiter is in your 6th house in Punarvasu nakshatra. Here obviously 6th house Jupiter has some serious things to deal with, and the renewal or the new beginnings or the new things that will open up is definitely related to some competition, job matters, court cases, your finance, taking a loan, anything, or even it can be your medical situation or any health situation in your life. Now see, Jupiter being Jupiter, when a planet is benign, it makes the process also a little slower and able to deal with it in a better way, because Punarvasu is not a nakshatra for fighting. First is that Punarvasu is Lord Rama's nakshatra. We have seen Lord Ram in his life wanted to make truce. So Jupiter in its own way can fathom a truce in the process, in whichever, whether it is your daily wages thing, whether it is your court cases, whether it's your loan, a newness definitely will happen. Renewal of these things definitely will happen. But this renewal is not just a one-time renewal. It will see different layers of renewal in the next 10 months, because it is from 15th August to 17th June 2026. It is 10 months of transit of Jupiter in this nakshatra. 3 pradas being in Gemini, 1 pada is in Cancer in your 7th house. So this process will continue, and in every layer you will see, as you are growing, as you are understanding, as you are maybe traveling for these things, because it's a very movement oriented nakshatra, your 6th house, what you had been till now thinking, will start vibration and will bring out the results, because Jupiter is your 12th lord. Obviously it can lead to some expenses, it can relate to some foreign lands, it can give some disturbances also, and it is your 3rd lord also. Saturn is sitting in the 3rd house, so efforts, you put the effort, and now but in a different way. You just don't bluntly do the things, you do it because you have to, and now the process is very different. It's a new way of thinking, new way of development, new way of understanding, and at different levels this will happen, because from 4th of November to 4th of February, Jupiter will be retrograde. Again, it will make you rethink, and then again a new process will start. So this is yes, it is a little bit serious than the other ascendants, because it is a 6th house Jupiter. But nonetheless, Jupiter will provide you the solution definitely in the next 3 months. It can be in your health area. You may need some rectification over there so that you become a new you. It can be in your loan area and you need a loan, you want to take a loan, and if you what is the process, renewed process, you have to go through it. If there is any pending court cases that is there with you, then also you have to renew the process, or everything will be. And if there is a job factor which needs to be addressed, anything, you will change your approach, whether searching for a job or if you have one also, your ways and methods will change. So you will put the effort in this area, but the efforts are not aggressive effort. It is like understanding of the system and going through the process. Yes, I cannot tell it's a very beautiful transit in the 6th house, no, but it is a transit which will give way to certain things which needs a new approach. Maybe you had been trying this in the same way, it will not work that way. You need a new approach in this next 10 months, so that Jupiter, Saturn retrogression and everything completes the task in the 6th house, and Jupiter then finally moves into Cancer in the next year, June month. So this process, whatever had been pending in 6th house, Rogran Shatru, whatever matters is there, it will be completed by this Jupiter in Punarvasu, in renewing our efforts and giving renewal in a new way, in a new drishti kon. So that is what. But okay, the transit will give way to a lot of things. That is my point. For Aquarius ascendants, the 5th house, Jupiter in the 5th house in Punarvasu, Jupiter always works good in the transit. I have seen Jupiter really working good in the 5th house matters. Now that can be regarding your, because it is the 2nd and the 11th lord, it is some kind of recognition within the family, in your social circle. You are feeling good about your progeny. The progeny may be traveling somewhere. You are also learning a lot of things from here. It is a total regeneration, because 5th house is Purva Punya. Jupiter situated here, yes, the sign is Gemini, a little fast and quick, but Jupiter gives a very healthy touch when it is in Punarvasu for the next 10 months now, from 15th of August to 17th of June, and it will bring renewals in many forms in this next 10 months. Now your love affairs can go for a renewal. You may change something and it go for it. There can be two things. The same process can go for a renewal, or a change in the process is seen and you go for a renewal. A certificate you can get, or you may change the thing and then go for a certificate course. That is also because 5th house is house of certificates, and Gemini is short-term courses. Your hobbies can see a new you, and you can change the way you had been inculcating these things in your life. Obviously it is the investment in the market. The 5th house is trading area also. You're testing your luck. You will test your luck, but maybe understanding it better and then testing it. It can give to movements to your progeny. They may go for travels and all this things. You can also go with them. Lot of learning. Jupiter, whenever it is in the 5th house, it gives you a new, it gives you that thing of understanding, the maturity. You want to work with truce, not with war, and you become now much more matured in your approach, because till now Jupiter's transit in Adra was very chaotic. So now your attitude towards the 5th house matters. The money matters. 2nd house will see a change, a renewal. The 11th house matters because it is directly aspecting Sagittarius. Your networking circles can also see a renewal. Renewal means not always adding. It can be also like you go away, or you do away with the many things, and the best remains actually. So in many forms this renewal will happen, not just one new beginning. In the process Jupiter will go retrograde again, you will think, you will again start, and this 10 months will see a lot of changes in your 2nd, 11th and 5th house matters, and you as a person will also grow with these changes, and that implementation or regeneration that Punarvasu will bring in your life. Punar, again maybe you have certain hobbies you were left for the past, you will again start them. But it's a very good transit actually. It is really a good transit for most of the zodiacs. It is a very nice and benign transit, and we'll see beginning at different stages of your life. So take care of yourself and go through this transit. Pisces ascendant, Pisces 4th house transit in Punarvasu. Now this transit is a real good transit for Pisces. Your Lagna Lord in Punarvasu, in its own nakshatra Jupiter, will make a new you out of this next 10 months. This is the first thing that will happen with this kind of a transit. It is very good transit because Jupiter will take a dip into your 5th house in Cancer and again come back, and it will become retrograde from 4th of November to 4th of February. So the new beginning that will happen for you, that was very tumultuous in Ardra till now. For the last 2 months you were in a chaotic state. Now you will start to stabilize, and in a very nice benign way you will be able to follow the path forward. Now this new beginning or renewal that you will be facing through Punarvasu nakshatra, Jupiter's transit in it, is not just one beginning and not just one step. It is different steps. In every 2-3 months you will implement, you yourself will be implementing in your life, so that you get a better change and you come through better situations. And obviously it is related to your Lagna, and also the 10th house matters. It can be a job situation, it can be professionally how you go, how educationally you grow, your home front changing, you need to go out of your home, you're preparing for that, all these things. It's a very good transit, Pisces ascendant, because this will really give you the boost that you had been asking for, because Saturn is transiting on the Lagna is not an easy transit, and Saturn is sitting in Pisces. Still Jupiter will make this transit a little bit, in a rejuvenated manner. You will feel that you have come out of the darkness and now you're dealing with the light. This is the beginning of it, the light again, the ray of hope again. That is Punarvasu for you in the 4th house. Jupiter has Thanbal in the 4th house, definitely. Maybe you have to go for movements outside your home, venturing, travel. It will teach you a lot of things, and at different levels in the next 10 months, Punarvasu will make you take out of the darkness to the light. The journey from the warfare to the truce will happen in this 10 months. It is an absolutely good transit for you, and a very changing, life changing, maybe a too big word, but quite a big change will happen in your personality, and for good, and for the professional field also. So very good transit for Pisces ascendant. Go with it, take the changes, make the changes, go with the changes, learn in the process. If you want to take journeys, do that. If you want to take courses, do that. Sit, read, go outside, implement the process, travel. Movement is very important in this nakshatra. You cannot be stagnant. It will not allow you to be stagnant, and very nicely it will propel the growth towards your especially your 4th house area, your education, maybe your competitive exams, maybe if you're a student, if it is just your well-being, your professional thing, it is the Lagna Lord, it's the 10th Lord. Definitely you will be able to renew yourself, and once you renew yourself, even the 7th house matters can also see a better days, understanding better how to deal with relationships also. So take good care, Pisces ascendants. Here I end my video. So all of you take care, have a good day, bye bye.